guys, job winning freaking coolest day ever. You guys know New Brands, freaking huge company. They're absolutely crushing it. They own like everything on the planet. They're like 18 billion. I don't freaking know. Just closed the trade on them today, up 96% in 2 months. Absolutely insane. But what's sort of more important than that is this one principle I got from what happened today. It was super cool, and it's asking other people for a different perspective. It's so powerful, so huge. So like I've been in this trade for a while, but I didn't really know today like if I should get out or not. So I pick up the phone. I call my buddy Kenny. Kenny knows absolutely zip about stocks, and I'm like, Kenny, look, here's the deal, okay? We got this company, New Brands. They used to be way up here, and then they took this huge dump down to here, and I bought them here, and now they're up a whole bunch, and I'm making like a ton of bank. And I'm like, Kenny, what do you think I should do? And I just freaking ask somebody else. Raise your hand and say, what do I do? He says, sell. I sell. 96% booked. We'll see how it works out. It's gonna be killer. Get another person's perspective. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest day ever. No trading today because there's a math thing today. So I'll be live tomorrow on Twitch, which is super fun. But I was going over this English studying, and there was a super cool thing that happened. I thought I'd share with you because it's like the freaking like biggest thing ever. And it's this idea of like learning the way that you learn, right? So for me, like memorization of random stuff is it's kind of hard. And so like whatever you're trying to learn, whatever you're trying to do, like you figure out, where you struggle. And then sometimes with school, you just kind of like have to do what you're bad at, which usually isn't the goal, right? The goal is to focus on what you're good at. But check this out, okay? So you gotta memorize like all these names and all these words, but like I have no freaking clue. So like all I did is I just like, I'm really good at remembering like stock tickers, right? Like tickers are like 10 out of 10. Like everyone can remember tickers. So I just like made all of these names into tickers, and I made all of their like books into tickers. And I'm trying to memorize like all the tickers, and it's like 10 times easier for me to memorize the tickers than it is for me to memorize like the actual names and all that stuff. So whenever you're trying to figure out something, you're trying to study something, you just aren't able to do it, learn it in a way that suits you. Hey guys, John Wooten here. Hope you're having the coolest day ever. It's super excited. I'm going to take a math test right now, which is going to be like super fun. We've been like studying so hard for it. It's going to be the best thing ever. So exciting. But I wanted to give like a quick thing today about like using your time the way that you want to use it, and just like finding time to do things that matter and that you're passionate about in your life. It's so important. So I have this math class, and it's at like 8 o'clock every single day of the week, which is like super cool, right? Like, okay, sweet, got math. But like I'm super passionate about what? Trading 9 to noon, like stocks. That's what I freaking love, right? And so what do? I have classes in the morning, but I bunk out that time from 9 to noon to go and do what I love, which is trading, and then I'll have classes in the afternoon. So like figure out how is there a way where you sort of rearrange your responsibilities, rearrange what you need to do, and make time for what you're passionate about. Now, for a lot of people, that might be an extra 10, 15, 30 minutes in the morning. For some people, it might be 1 or 2 or 3 hours trading 9 to noon. Just figure out what it is you want to do, when you do it, and then forge your own time and make it happen. Are you guys excited? It's Saturday. Oh my gosh. But like, oh my gosh. So I've got like this, we're getting this whole studio going, and it's like the coolest thing ever. I'm recording like this awesome course, and it's like so fun. And I'm gonna like, turn away from the lights, but like, this is the coolest thing ever. It's like so much fun. And this course, it's all like for the book, right? And it's about, getting people educated and then helping them learn about like the insane thing about personal finance and investing. It's like super fun. But like, when I started out, right? Like, I didn't start out with all this. I didn't start with any of this, right? I was starting out, I had, like, this phone. And I literally just, like, gave seminars and would record them, like, on my phone. And so often people, they start and they're trying to get into something and think that they have to go all in and have all this crap. When in reality, all you need to do is have the motivation and the perseverance to just start and do it. And do it at the basic level. Like, use your phone as a camera and make it happen. So go out there, find something you want to do, and hey guys, John Wooten, hope you're having the best day ever. Coolest weekend on the planet. I want to tell you today about getting a ton of value added into other people's lives. It's so key, like especially as you're working in new industries, to get in front of people and add ridiculous amounts of value into their lives. And so yesterday we're at this huge conference, big event, and there's this guy, he's got this freaking giant headset on, and he like is flying this huge drone all over the place. It's straight up insane, absurd, and he's like doing flips, barrel rolls all over the place, giving everybody an insane time and making them super excited, super happy, and it's just extremely entertaining. And after like 15 minutes of just flying this drone all over the place, he lands it, and everyone gives him cheers, this huge, massive applause, because he gave them a ridiculous amount of value without asking for anything. It was just entertaining them. So think about when you're entering a new space, how can you entertain someone? How can you inform someone? How can you educate someone? How can you give them an insane amount of stuff up front, just completely for free, and then at the end, ask for that return, ask for that value, ask for that applause to move you towards success? Hey guys, it's Sean Wood. Hope you're having the coolest morning ever. Today I want to ask you a question and talk to you about something that I'm like ridiculously passionate about because I think it's super, super, super important. But like nobody ever focuses on it. It's about finding something you're like so ridiculously passionate about that you'll wake up at like 3 or 4 or 2 in the morning just to do it every single day or over and over and over again because you have that goal that's pulling you towards it. And you know that the best way to achieve that goal and the best way to make it happen is to actually get up like ridiculously early so that you have that extra time to go ahead and do it. And it's pretty early right now. And we're getting this extra course filmed, which is like super cool for the book. And it's like so cool because like I'm ridiculously passionate about helping people build real savings and retirements to get to that end result of having financial success. And so for you, like figure out what's that one thing that you're super passionate about that would literally get you up. Well, it's like dark, blazing dark outside, doing anything you can possibly do to have that success every single day. Hey guys, John Wooden here. Hope you're doing the most amazing day ever. Super, super excited because it's like earnings week this week, which is literally like the most fun week on the planet because it's when everyone's reporting their earnings. So like this week, right, we've got a ton of companies reporting Q3 earnings that are reporting all the money they've made over the past 3 months, and they have like a month delay, which is pretty sick. But what's super, super cool is like so often you have smaller companies, you have new companies, you have your own bank account, and instead of focusing on the numbers, instead of focusing on the math, people just try to ignore them and they try to like, you know, go against their taxes and they don't want to be audited. But in reality, if you look at these public companies, what they're doing with billions of dollars every single quarter is they're getting publicly audited every single quarter because they want to be audited, because being audited actually makes them stay reliable and it makes them focus on their profit margins, focus on their profits. So instead of thinking of like taxes as a bad thing and audits as a bad thing, and looking at these work is bad, think of it as a way to check yourself and make sure that you're on the right path and going the right way with your finances. Are you guys excited? It's the most exciting day ever. Oh my God. I had this lesson and this epiphany yesterday that was ridiculously cool. And I wanted to share with you because I thought it was like the coolest thing on the planet. So we're at an investment committee. They manage like a $1.5 million endowment. So they've got some pretty sizable positions. And it's pretty freaking important that they make a lot of money, which is super, super cool, right? And so it's every Tuesday. And so 2 weeks ago, there was this one pick on MPC. And they were in like an interior Bollinger Band W setup on the weekly, breaking out of the moving averages. And then just yesterday, they were talking about Adobe, which is in this like ginormous weekly head and shoulder setup right now. And in both of these positions, the technicals showed the correct patterns. MPC went up a whole bunch, just like I thought. Adobe probably going to suck, but the other people weren't listening. So here's the important takeaway from it, okay? You can't control other people. You can't force them to your point of view. You have to gradually accommodate them to yourself instead of trying to push yourself onto them. Hope you guys are having the best day ever. It's so exciting. Oh my God. Okay, so this week is still earnings week, which is like the coolest thing ever. And we talked about like earlier this week, like talking about like looking at your life through the perspective of constantly being audited, which is like ridiculously powerful. But I was watching this course this morning and it like had this whole mindset shift. It had this huge epiphany that I thought was the coolest thing ever. So I wanted to share with you because it's like insane. And so it's this idea of like if you're creating a balance sheet in your company, right? You have assets and you have liabilities. And similarly, a really, really powerful thing you can do is create a balance sheet for yourself and a balance sheet for your life and look at all the assets in your life that you have that are so valuable. So literally every skill you have, like anything that you can think of that makes you worth anything in the marketplace is an asset. You're investing in what? You're investing in yourself. So you invest in your education. If you have a high school education, like that's education invested in yourself, which is so cool. But when you're creating this balance sheet, focus on the positives and focus on the assets first and ignore the negatives, ignore the liabilities, and only look towards that positive future. Hey guys, Sean Wood here. Hope you're having the most exciting day ever. Just some really awesome stuff has been happening lately. I thought it was so freaking cool. So I wanted to share with you this one insight I had this morning. I thought was like insane. And it's all about this idea of like what you do when you come to challenges, you come to adversity, or you have like difficulties. And so this morning, like you guys know, I made like that Think and Grow Rich course. So I'm kind of finishing up everything with it and putting it all together in the membership site. And I see this Bob Proctor thing, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So he's got this whole course, whole thing he's teaching. He has like this 45-minute video. So I watched this video, and he talks about this one thing I thought was absolutely insane. It was about having a desire and having an end goal without actually knowing how you're going to get there. And just finding a way. See, this morning I had a tough challenge where like, I'm trying to get all my email stuff set up, but all my stuff's getting into spam, which is like a sad problem. So I got to fix it. And I don't know how I'm going to fix it, but I have to fix it. So if you want to make something happen, don't freaking worry about how you're going to do it. Just start doing it and you'll find a way to make it happen. Guys, we're having the coolest day ever. Freaking really awesome stuff. Today we're doing a whole bunch of shipments to Amazon, and we're getting a ton of products done, which is literally like the coolest thing on the planet. We're gonna ship like probably about 10 grand of towels today, which is literally the most fun thing on the planet. But you know what's really interesting is like, I'm like printing out the final shipping labels, and you have to like get the labels from Amazon, and then they have the trucks come, and it's like super cool. But what's crazy is like you can't even download the print labels. You can't even get the labels from Amazon right now because their servers are down. Their print servers for their one thing, which is seller fulfilled orders, are down because there are so many people ordering these labels and trying to ship stuff to their warehouses for the Christmas season, right? Which is so insane because 20 years ago this company didn't exist, and now they are literally overflowing with business and wealth and money. Stick to one thing, do it really well, and you can be like Amazon.
Hey guys, John Wooten, hope you're having the coolest day ever. I am like so pooped. We've been going super hard since like 3 this morning, getting this course done, which is just like, oh my god, so exciting. And there was just one concept that came across today that I just thought was so powerful, and it's something that I experienced recording kind of my last course with Think and Grow Rich, this one on how to influence and influence people. And it's also something that I kind of experienced just as I was coming towards those last couple of chapters of 9 to Noon, a long time ago when I was finishing out the book. And it's this concept of don't stop. And it's so crazy because I met this one guy the other day, and he's written the first 4 chapters of 8 books. And if he just combined all those chapters, he would have like a book and a half, 2 books. But instead he has 0 books because he stopped each individual project and he quit when it got tough. And right now it's really getting tough, and this is the time to push through. This is the time to keep going. This is the time to make it happen. So go out there, and when you're embracing these huge projects where it's all result driven.
Hey guys, John Wooten here. Hope you're having the coolest Monday ever. It's super exciting start to the week. And I want to talk to you about this position that went up like 77% last Friday, which was like ridiculously crazy, and then why it happened, and kind of a cool little insight from that, which I don't think a whole lot of people get. And so it was really interesting. It was OXY, Oxy, they do like petrol stuff. They're super cool. And the company, they went up, the options at least, the positions that I have in them went up 77% on Friday, which is insane. But over the past couple weeks, they've gone from like $50 to like $40. My calls are at $40, and it was all kind of this balance from just one indicator that I don't think a lot of people look at, called like really big red volume candles, really big red volume bars. And big red volume bars almost always precede like extremely large upward movements historically if you look at stocks. And so often people don't even really look at the volume bars. They look at the indicators, they look at the technicals, they don't actually understand what's happening on a chart level to a stock. And yet what happens at that chart level can fundamentally shift the entire valuation of the company. So make sure that you look at those technical indicators. So the big question is this: how do you get from like where you are right now to where you want to be in the future and where your goals are, right? How do you move from maybe if you're standing right here and you want to get all the way over there, how do you get there? And you know, I was starting on this process, right? You set your goals and you know where you want to go, but it's like, what's the process to get there? And there was this one really powerful mindset shift that I had a while ago, and I thought it was just so profound, and so I wanted to share it with you today. And it's this idea of future pacing yourself for being the better person that you want to be, or having the success that you want to have, or just exploding, you know, however you want to, you know, personally, professionally, or whatever. And there was this one strategy. There's so many ways to like future pace yourself through setting habits or doing things that you would do if you're successful, and acting as though you're already successful. But a really great strat that I don't see a lot of people talk about is listen to like podcasts or educational content, read books about super high level business strategies, things that like you probably won't deal with for years, and do it now. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest morning ever. I wanted to take just a minute to talk about something that totally changed my life the moment I understood it, and that like nobody talks about, which I think is ridiculous. And it's this idea of taking a moment to just think about something. So yesterday, you know, I was overcoming this big challenge, this big new thing in the business, and I just didn't really know exactly how to approach the situation. It was a tough call, and as I'm trying to work and hustle through it, what I realized is that like I don't know what to do, man. And so what so often needs to happen, yet rarely anyone does it, is you take a moment to just sit back, you know, sit down and say and think, and just quietly sit and be willing to wait for the answer to appear. You know, it took me maybe 10-15 minutes of just sitting and thinking to actually figure out the solution to this challenge and move forward with it and have success. And so if you have anything that you're really trying to push through and just, you know, punching the wall doesn't work, take a minute, stop punching the wall and think. Hey guys, I hope you're having the coolest day ever. I have to whisper because I went super freaking hard last night on a webinar. And so I totally lost my voice. And I want to tell you guys today about the insane importance of going 100% on everything that you commit to. Because when I went to do this event, like I wasn't gonna go halfway, I wasn't gonna half-ass it, I was gonna go 100%, and that's the exact mentality that you have to take in for everything that you do, because the moment that you fully commit and you say that you are going to give all of your energy, all of your effort, and all of your being into the effort and the work that you do, everything shifts dramatically because you're able to focus on exclusively activating your big potential. John Wood having the coolest day ever because it's Friday, which is awesome. I'll talk to you today about something I'm super passionate about, because when you tie your money up with things and you actually like put your money where your mouth is, like it makes you care about what you do. And that's why it's so important, like, to actually get into the market and start investing instead of doing crap like, you know, paper trading, which I started out with. It was just awful. Just, oh my God, I could talk about that all day, but that's not what I want to focus on today. What I want to focus on today is I've been working with these guys on Instagram, right? I want to like promote my stuff with them and pay them money to, like, you know, put my links in their bio, sponsored posts, stuff like that. And I give these guys like 120 bucks, 150 bucks, something like that. And like they're supposed to put out a post like yesterday for like products and services I sell. And what's ridiculous is that like they don't do jack for me, and I'm like, dude, what the heck, man? And the one thing that is the big takeaway is like I would totally do business with them, yeah, but right now I'm really confused because I don't actually know what's going on because they haven't actually told me. So be transparent and you'll win more business. That's the screen we've been waiting for so long. Finally submitted the CreateX application for startup launch, which is ridiculously exciting. We're doing it with Monero ads, which is literally the dream. And I'm super excited to see how this helps the company scale and grows and grow. It's just going to be so exciting. But I want to talk to you guys about a concept that I think is absolutely huge. Because this application I just submitted, it was a little bit of information about the company, a little bit of information about me, the team, the group, our goals, and our direction for the Monero ads. But like when I submitted this application, it wasn't just like the 5 hours of work that I put into the application. It was the past 2 years of concentrated effort and dedication that went into this company, all manifested in a little tiny bit of text. But there have been literally years and years of work to get here. And so I want to leave you here with something that's very powerful from John Cena. And it was before he was getting ready for one of the largest championship matches of his career. 5 minutes before the match, he's sitting on a couch watching TV. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what you do if you put in the work beforehand. Hey guys, I'm Winnie. Hope you're having the coolest day ever. I'm super excited today. Talking about something that I think is so crucial, so key. And I was reading this morning a book about CEOs. That was the coolest thing ever. It's this idea of making decisions like ridiculously quickly. And then like as you make those decisions and as you move into any sort of leadership position, you have to be fast to decide and then stick with your answer confidently, happily, and very persistently, so that you're not second guessing yourself. You're not going back on your information or second guessing or stopping down in front of others, because the moment you make that decision, you stick with it, it's going to lead a team, lead a group. And it was this really amazing example with the CEO at this insane company. It's like General Electric, and they were looking at like an acquisition, a big acquisition. And this guy, everyone wanted him to buy this company for literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And he said no! Because if they bought that company, they weren't going to be number one or number two. They weren't going to be at the top. So stick with your gut and stick with your decision. Hey guys, just a ridiculously fun day this morning. Apparently, like, Disney is having so many people use its service that like Disney Plus is crashing, which is hilarious. And also there was a ticker APD and this morning that literally doubled, which is like insane. What I want to talk to you today is about something that I think is so powerful. It's the idea of habit and doing things over and over again. And you guys might notice, like, I'm doing a lot more stuff on Instagram because I feel like my dream clients, my target audience, they're all sort of on Instagram, right? It's like 15, 35. And I feel like this is like the strat, that's the place to be. And so like, because of that, like, I've never used Instagram before, right? So like, I'm learning all this stuff as I go and I'm trying to make it happen. And what's cool is like, my goal is like to do a video a day, every single day. And so like, if you want to make something really easy, just like focus on one habit for like 3 weeks at a time. And then like, it takes like 3 weeks, I think, to master a habit. And the numbers differ, but like pick one thing you want to do and master that one thing and just do it over and over and over. Like, this is how I got to meditating. This is how I got to going to bed at 8. It just fucking works. Guys, hope you're having the coolest day ever. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, which is amazing, even though it's kind of cold. But you know what? We're in the sunglasses. It's like the middle of the beach time here, which is just ridiculously cool. And I had this epiphany last night at investment committee. I thought it was one of the coolest things ever, but it was also kind of weird because it sort of kind of captured a lot of what happens in financial markets, and sort of specifically, especially like when you get higher up into like the investment space and institutional investments, like this idea of separating what most people have access to, like with data or with statistics or with financials or with, financial reporting metrics, versus what maybe like the top 1% has, or what, the top investment firms, the top hedge funds have, and basically like cutting off information or fundamentally changing the way that they actually see their investments with better data, better analysis, better tools, whatever. And so we're at this investment meeting, and these guys develop this algo that does basically like portfolio correlation with spreadsheets automatically from stock to stock, which is ridiculously cool. But the thing is, like, they don't actually share it with anybody there unless they commit like 6 months of their time there, which is just ridiculous. So go out there, take what you have, share it, and it'll be so much more valuable. Guys, hope you're having the coolest morning ever. It's Thursday, which is like literally the coolest thing ever. And I want to talk to you today about something I think is so ridiculously cool, but like no one talks about it because it's just insane. So it's this idea that you have a goal, you have something that you're working towards, something that you need to maybe like overcome this wall or break down this barrier. And there's like 2 ways to do it, right? The first way to do it is to just bam, go super hard, punch like 10 out of 10, you're going 1,000%, and you just try to break through in one impact, one hit. And then the other way to do it is to think of it sort of like a stream, right? So you slowly go and go and go and go. Over time, you're just slowly weeding it away, just kind of like a river going against rocks. And what's so crazy is like people see, on one side of it, there's like power, and on the other side of it, there's persistence. And yet what's so crazy is like if you can just combine power and persistence, what's interesting is maybe instead of going 10,000%, you just give it your all over and over again, and you're gonna have so much more impact just by doing that than you could ever even dream of by going a bajillion%. So just give it your all consistently. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest morning ever because it's Friday, which is awesome. I'm talking to you about something that's like ridiculously important, and yet no one focuses on it, which I think is just berserk. And it's the idea of like taking just ridiculous amounts of action with whatever it is that you're doing. So like I'm reading this book, Hyper Ready Series, 10 out of 10 by Jim Edwards. It's super, super, super fun. And he has this one exercise in the book where he's like, hey, go and find out, your ideal client, what's their attributes, what are their problems, what are their questions, what are their roadblocks, what are their results, and how do you want to help them get to that end point? And as you can overcome these objections, actually have the results that you want in life, which is just ridiculously important. And so he goes through this process to figure out these problems, figure out these questions, figure out these roadblocks, figure out these results. And then he says, go and take action and make it happen. And so what you have to do is you have to stand back. You have to say, how can you actually map out the work? How can you map out what you have to do? And then figure out the way to do it. So next time you have some sort of exercise, some sort of option, some sort of activity, instead of just sitting there or glancing over it or reading about it or not actually focusing on it, take action, put in effort, commitment, time, and energy, and you'll get 10 times better results from it. Hey guys, we gotta be a little quiet because it's like really, but like, I had this epiphany this morning and it was so huge, and I want to tell you about it. So I ran out of like hair gel, which kind of sucks. Like, we got like filming today and we're gonna make some new courses, which is awesome. Like, if you guys haven't been like on the game on these courses, like this is a total free course, like link in my bio. It's super freaking cool to get you like everything you need in personal finance and investing, and it's like completely free, which is ridiculously awesome. But we're doing like studio work today, and I'm running a hair gel. And what I think, oh gosh, what a problem. And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, you cannot use that word. Because here's the deal. When you label something as a problem, what it does is in your mind, it makes you think that it's negative. It makes you think that it's a bad thing, which is awful, right? Because you want to be in a state of positivity, a state of happiness. And so instead of thinking of your challenges as problems, think of them as challenges to overcome. And instead of something negative, think of something great that will push you to a new level. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest day ever because it's Sunday, which is literally so awesome. I want to tell you something today that I just think is so powerful. And it's interesting because like it's this concept that like one person can be standing in a room with the exact same kind of person right next to them, and yet the person who takes knowledge and applies it can have tremendously different results than a person who just sits there and absorbs it. I was thinking about this because like this morning, just like got back, just get all my stuff here for you guys. We're gonna have a seminar today. It's gonna be awesome. But at this seminar, there's gonna be like, hundreds of people, and like half of them are gonna go out there and crush it. And the other half won't do anything. And it's so crazy because like, with this Uber driver, he was talking to me about his portfolio and he got like a 401k, and I'm like, dude, there was an inverted yield curve. I would like, you know, kind of be a little bit careful and check out fixed index annuities to sort of just eradicate your downside and get like 90% of the market upside, because like the inverted yield curve's crap, and yet like he doesn't apply it. So make sure like you take information and you apply it this week, which is like just so exciting. And it's always fun because like I think earnings week, like especially when I was starting investing, it was like the one time when it was like everything was volatile, everything's moving, and there are like so many insane opportunities to just make like huge returns, especially with like big stocks. Like I know Target's reporting, Home Depot's reporting, which means so excited for those positions. There's just gonna be really phenomenal opportunities coming up this week. I thought it was so cool because like a lot of people, right, they see the market, they're like slow movement or slow growth or slow, you know, no volatility or anything like that. What's cool is like with earnings week, like you can really see sort of the biggest moves that come in the market, and you can see some of the biggest changes in all aspects of industries, which is like so cool because everybody's changing the way that they view these companies based on what? Based on the earnings reports, right? So make sure like you get your eyes peeled this week because it's just gonna be so fun, so killer, and hopefully some amazing potential positions out there. So go out there, guys, apply it, absolutely crush it, and crush earnings week. You guys excited? I feel like it's my birthday. It's the coolest thing ever. Okay, so like, I wake up this morning and Home Depot stock is down like 6%, which is huge because the options are priced at $235, which we got in like yesterday, and now it's up like just double the triple in value, which is like so cool. But like, holy crap, there was this position yesterday, and if you guys were on Twitch, you saw this live. You were trading. We got into KRTX at $36. I didn't hold on the whole time, but holy heck, they closed at $96 yesterday. Look at this shit, it's insane. Like, so the stock literally like quintupled. It tripled during the daily range, which was just so amazing. Just an insane position yesterday. And on Home Depot too, like the options, I'm telling you guys, like earnings season, volatility, everything's so powerful. So what I want you to do is I want you to take this information, I want you to take this this journey and like just have belief. The financial markets can absolutely change everything because the moment you believe, it'll freaking happen. I mean, the coolest day ever because it's Wednesday, which is so awesome. There was like a fire alarm last night, and it was like the middle of the night, and it was like berserk. Now there's another fire alarm this morning, which is hilarious. But I want to talk to you about something I think is so powerful because right before the fire alarm off, like the power just cut, and like I was working on this English paper, and I was like, I am going to finish this English paper in the next 1 hour, and so I'm using the power of Google Docs, which is so cool. And it made me realize something this morning. And I mean, I use Google Docs to like write my entire like the whole manuscript, right, for the book, and it's like so powerful because like if you quit or if something cuts off or the power goes out, you don't actually lose everything because it's all in the cloud, which is so awesome. And it's just such a phenomenal product. And the cool thing is like Google, they didn't have to make that. They didn't have to do any of that, but they just freaking did it because they wanted to become more. They wanted to be a larger company. They wanted to add more value in other people's lives. So my challenge for you is to be like Google Docs today and figure out a way where you can be more and do more and have a big impact. Excited, oh my gosh. So like apparently this morning there are like rumors that Schwab is gonna buy the TD Ameritrade, which is like so crazy, and it made me think about this one concept that is so huge and fundamentally changed my life, and it's this idea of using pain as fuel. Because like as soon as you can do that, it changes everything. So if you look at it like right now, right, we're at peak of a market, super high. Everything is just straight up berserk, super crazy. And so because of that, what happens? Well, everyone's going ludicrous, right? It's like the heights of 06 or whatever, right? I mean, you look at the inverted yield curve, it's all right there to see. But what's interesting is that you see the crashes, you see the difficulties, you see the challenging times. That's when you really start to have like huge shifts and huge change in the way that like actual people perform in the marketplace. I know for me, like I got into investing when I was huge into pain and I was trapped and I had no control over my time or my life, my energy. And so my goal for you and the thing you want to do today is to take pain and use it as fuel to go out there and do things and grow. It's Friday. You guys excited? It's the best day ever. What? Hey, I'm super excited. I want to talk to you guys about a concept today I think is so powerful, and yet so few people use it. I remember when I was taking like SATs and all these standardized tests, like I would use this concept, and like there's no doubt in my mind that it like upped me like a whole bunch and got me in like that top 1%. Like oh my gosh, this is so powerful, so huge, and like if you can apply this, like it'll change everything, which is like so crazy. And so here's the deal, okay? You have like a test, you have an exam. Like today there's this huge math midterm, okay? Or maybe you have like some big test, maybe it's a standardized test, I don't know. But like it doesn't matter, okay? as you go into this test, and I use this, my English teacher taught me this for the English AP exam. Here's the deal. You will perform better. You will think larger. You will be smarter. You will do more. You will achieve more. And you'll have literally, like, you will think better if you wear a suit and dress to succeed. It's Saturday, you guys. Excited. It's the best day ever, which is like so cool. We're getting all these drivers installed, which is like, so exciting. Because we just built like this new computer, which is like literally the coolest thing ever. Like, it's so fun. But like, this reminded me like a long time ago. Like, you know, I was first working like some of the first mining rigs, some of the first like big computers, and you've got like all your drivers you need to do, and it's just like all this work just to get this stuff to work, which is so exciting and it's like so valuable. But it's just like a lot of work, right? And so, well, when you like are working through these difficult processes, especially with computers or with systems or with things, or teams or groups where people like literally this is going to go at 42%, 43%, 44%. It doesn't care, you know, what I do to put in input into it. Like, it's all systemized, it's all processes, right? And so as you get into these situations where you don't really have control over how quickly things process and how quickly things operate, like if you have to be the one doing it, make sure that you approach every single situation you have, every challenge you have, as an opportunity to grow, right? And take full advantage of every single chance you get. We messed up, guys. We messed up. Okay, so, okay. Oh my gosh. So I kind of dropped this camera, kind of fell, which is not good. It's not good. And it kind of made a big mess. But like, I want to talk to you guys about something that happened today, because like, yes, this is a problem, and yes, this is not good, and yes, this isn't perfect. But like, the lens is okay, and the camera's okay. And the reason why is because I spent the $8 on Amazon it cost when I got this camera to get this little UV filter for the front of it. And this $8 investment just like saved me from breaking this $800 lens, which is like, that's really good. So like, when you guys have a situation where you're investing in an asset, you're making a huge investment or something that's really important, make sure that you spend the freaking 1% of the cost it takes to get insurance. Are you guys excited? It's Monday. It's gonna be super fun. It's earnings week this week, which is like literally the coolest thing ever. But I'm super excited because this morning, we finally opened our first offshore brokerage account, which is like, we can finally get past the PDT rule, which is super exciting. It's also super sketch, but it's really cool because like, you're trying new things, you're pushing your limits, you're getting to new territories, and you're making it happen, which is super cool. And you know, it made me think today, this morning, about this idea of like finding ways to make things happen and then investing in yourself, because like, offshore brokerage accounts are not cheap, and you have to sort of work through a whole bunch of crap to actually make it happen. But the cost, you know, if you spend like, I don't know, $8,000 and you make $100,000, like it's just an investment in yourself, right? So this idea of, you know, taking new leaps and going into new circumstances, I just invested in some new educational courses, trying to get more and more skilled at all this specialized knowledge. And the key, right, the foundation for everything is just investing in yourself. Are you guys excited? It's earnings week, which is like, oh, so fun. So many of the Chinese companies are reporting, and it's like super exciting to see all them moving. And like Razer Inc. is down, which is like huge, because they're like big boys in the gaming space. It's like, so cool. But I want to tell you guys this morning about a concept I think is so huge, so powerful, so massive. And it's something that, like, you know, once you understand, it's like, all of a sudden it takes you from, you know, novice to expert, because you're able to leverage the knowledge of experts, which is so crucial. And it's this idea of asking from, raising your hand and saying, hey, I need some help. Because so often people, you know, they're afraid of looking bad, or looking like they don't know what they're talking about, or just fearful of public face or how other people see them. But in reality, the most important thing you can do to get to that next level, to get to that next result, to get to the next achievement point, is to just ask for help, and then accept the answer, accept the help, and use it as a point to grow from, not as something to be ashamed of, right? Because help by itself is so powerful, so huge. And so find the smartest people you know in the areas that you want to get better at, and ask them for help. Hope you guys are the coolest day ever, because it's Tuesday, which is like literally the coolest day ever. You know, I was getting some work done this morning. It was like super fun. We're getting like all this dropshipping stuff, and it's gonna be so awesome. And I was thinking about this one concept, and I read this book called Messy. It was like the coolest thing ever, because it made me realize that like some of the most productive people on this planet, like if you look at Donald Trump, like his desk is a complete total mess, and it's just like awful. I got all this filming stuff everywhere. It's just a huge problem, but it's like not that big of a challenge, because in reality, the most successful people on this planet, what are they focused on? They're focused on what matters. They're focused on their work. They're focused on their energy. They're focused on their passion. They're focused on what they really care about, and not the crap that you can just hire other people to take care of, or just, you know, have others clean up, or in all reality, like, it doesn't matter if I book somebody, who cares? It doesn't matter. So the goal and the takeaway for today, right, and the big epiphany is that you want to focus on like that 20% of things that are going to lead to 80% of the results. And just, if you've got stuff that doesn't matter, like, just don't worry about it. Focus on your core key passions and have the biggest result possible. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest night ever because it's Thanksgiving, which is like, so fun. And, I was thinking about this concept this morning. It's something I like talk about a whole lot just because sort of the way my life works, and it's just like always going to bed at 8, waking up at 4, and it's like just such an amazing thing that totally exploded my productivity and let me have so much work done in the morning. Because like, if you look at the majority of the work that you're doing, like, it's all based on sort of condensed periods of time where you get so much stuff done. Just today, like, probably about 80% of my output today came through like Facebook ads and marketing and a ton of really awesome stuff with e-commerce, and that probably took maybe 3 or 4 hours. So it's like trying to condense a lot of the work into a set period of time. And, to have that output and to have that growth and to have that impact, it takes what? It takes a well-rested mind. It takes, a solid amount of just quality rest. And so it's so crucial, so key that you get enough sleep at night. And my question for you, and what I want to leave you with today, is something that I thought, I learned this and it changed my life. Ever since like the 1990s, Jeff Bezos got 8 hours of sleep every single night. I hope you guys are excited. It's the coolest night ever. It's Friday night. I hope you're so fun. But hey, I was coming up this night, and I had this epiphany, I had this realization I thought was so huge, so powerful. I was talking to my buddy Dorman. He's the coolest guy on the planet. Like, I love him. Amazing. And we're talking about like family stuff, Thanksgiving, super awesome stuff. And like, what he loves like pistol shooting and range shooting and rifle shooting. It's just his thing, right? So he's got his competition tomorrow. I'm asking about that, and we're just chatting up, and we're surrounding ourselves with energy. And it's not just energy, right? But it's the right energy, and you get that correct amount of energy by doing what? By surrounding yourself with people that are going to push you to your limits, push you to the positive brink of your personality and get to that next level of impact, achievement, and success. And so it's so critical that you surround yourself with not just energy, but the right energy. And you do that by forming amazingly powerful, complex, close relationships, because in reality, you can only have a couple of really strong, close relationships. So it's so critical, so key to make sure that those are the right relationships. You guys are having the coolest day ever because it's Friday. And by Friday, I mean Saturday, because it's cheat day, which is so exciting. But I want to share with you something today that I thought was just ridiculously cool. And it's just so powerful, so insane. I wish I knew this like a long time ago, because I never really understood this concept. And because of that, I was always learning things, but I was learning them sort of at the surface level, right? I wasn't getting deeper. And I used to do cross country all the time, right? I love it. I like weightlifting. It's kind of a little more fun. I don't know. It's super cool. And like, after practice all the time, we'd have this one girl. She was the coolest person on the planet. We'd always do yoga, and she would make us do like downward dogs, and it was like so much fun. I love it. It's so cool. And I remember, like, as we were doing these exercises, all the guys, like, it was just so much fun. We'd always scream deeper, and it was just the coolest thing ever. And so as you go through education, as you go through books or courses or content, like, and you get value from it, try to go to that next level. Try to go deeper. You guys are excited? There's so much stuff going on. It's so exciting. This morning, it's just been so much fun. But what I really want to do is I want to take a second to talk to you guys about something that I think is super huge, and something that, like, it's a tough thing to do, but like, once you do it, it's so powerful. So like, we're here and we're doing like all this stuff. It's like the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited. But there's like this super awesome view behind everything, right? Which like looks amazing. It just looks really cool. It's a beautiful day. But the challenge is, like, if you're pulling up like stocks on here and you're looking at like charts and investments, like, it's kind of difficult to actually see the screens with all this light coming in behind here. And so like, what we have to do is actually like take off the curtains and go and close the curtains so that you can actually see the screens. So even though it might be tough, look at stuff from an outside perspective and figure out if maybe there's a temporary decrease, temporary satisfaction you have to put away so that you can have that end result. Hey guys, I'm probably the coolest day ever. It's like freezing outside, but you know what? It's okay, because it's the best day ever. Today was the dream day. We got to go and do the second panel of batch interviews for Chris, which is like, so exciting. And, we're talking to some of these like just the investors or the panel boards. They're going to be like people that determine, which of the companies go and succeed and move on to be part of the program, which is super exciting and so cool. I'm so pumped about it. And, they're asking me about some of the investing stuff I do, which is like super cool, even though like, we're working on the company. It's all like blockchain tech. And, they asked me like, my year-to-date returns and my portfolios for the clients I manage, and I'm like, 218% is the year-to-date return. And they're like, whoa, you should manage our fund. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but like, I really want to do this company. And it's just this idea that the habits you have, like I work every day 9 to noon. I'm like, yeah, it's booked 9 to noon. Like, it's what I do. I love it. It's the freaking coolest thing ever. So if you want to change your results, just change your habits and it'll turn into better. Hey guys, hope you're having the coolest day ever because it's Tuesday, which is so exciting. But hey, I was listening to like a podcast of Jim yesterday. It was one of my favorite guys in like online marketing, copywriting, coolest guy on the planet. And he's talking about like investments and investment returns and like specifically real estate. In real estate, you get like what 10, 20% a year sometimes if you're lucky. And then obviously you can have like appreciation and stuff, but the core foundation of it is cash flow, right? And so he's talking about these returns and like how you can double your money every 5 years if you have 50% returns, which is like super, super awesome, ridiculously cool, and just like insanely great for long-term portfolios. Like 100%, that's awesome. But then I'm thinking about these concepts, and the one thing that really stood out to me is this idea of a set point, and this idea that your body and your mind will naturally come back to where you're centered at. And if you want to move what you're centered at, if you want to increase the amount of returns that you're used to getting, you have to drastically increase your set point for investment returns. So for me, like I'm so used to getting like 60, 70, 80% returns in like a month or two. So change your wealth by increasing your set point. Hey guys, have you ever gotten to the point where you're really trying to accomplish something or get some kind of score or some achievement, and you're super close to what like is perfection, like 100% perfect, but then you just like get squeezed out a little bit away from it, like you get that 95, you get that like 1550 on the SAT or something like that, and you're so close to perfection, but you just can't achieve it? Because like I know that happened to me a whole bunch, and I got like 1550 and tons of stuff happened today. But today there was something that really interesting happened on PTSM. I forget the ticker. I always forget the tickers. But the stock was going up a whole bunch. I got in like 500 shares, which is just like a normal position size. And what I started doing is I started selling lots of 100. So the price going up, price is going up, and I'd sell 100, sell 100, sell 100. And I sold like all 500 in the span of like 5 or 10 minutes and took like a pretty nice profit on all of it. It was really good. And then after I was selling as stop losses, right? So you let the price go up and you set a stop beneath it just in case it goes down. So I was selling everything as a stop loss in the green, which worked out really well. Hey guys, have you ever felt like you're trying to just catch up with the day, or you don't actually have control over your day, or in the morning, like instead of being on top of everything, you're just trying to run to get things done or to get to wherever you need to be for the day, and you don't actually have control over your actions? I remember that used to be like me every single day. It was like so often, because like I would wake up late, or I wouldn't get up on time, or I missed something. I'd be like rushing out the door, and that's not a good feeling, right? Like that's it's a hard place to be, and it's not necessarily like the most fun place to be. And so if you want to shift that idea of being reactive, you need to transition into a world where you're proactive, right? Where you're on top of things, where you're like in the game, you're 100% in control, and you're making things happen instead of reacting to things. Because when you initiate new actions versus reacting to others, all of a sudden you have the ability to actually forge your future and work towards whatever goals you want and take the actions that you need to have the success you want. So make sure that you wake up just a little bit earlier, 15 minutes earlier, and be proactive instead of reactive. Hey guys, remember when Amazon was like always running like ads for Audible, like in like the early 2010s, and they were just like everywhere, and that was like their primary focus. Their main goal was to grow that subscription, to grow that revenue, to grow sort of their average value per client. I think right now it's at like $850 a year per Prime member, and it bumps up to like $1250 if you do Pill Pack. But like I was thinking about that, and I was like looking at the affiliate program this morning, like how it worked, and I realized like no one is really like focusing on this anymore. They're not putting a lot of their energy, a lot of their effort into it anymore, and instead they're focusing now more on Prime Video. They're focusing now more on these scalable like front end things. And so I was thinking about this concept. It's so crucial. It's so important to be able to adapt to change, because what got Amazon to $1 million and what got them to $10 million are totally different things. What got them from 10 million to 100 million are totally different things. What got them from 100 million to a billion are totally different things. What got them from a billion to 10 billion are totally different things. And what got them from a billion to a trillion, totally different. Hey guys, I'm just like we've been spending like since like midnight. You guys probably can't see the studio, but we got so much stuff to do today. We got clients coming over. It's gonna be like the most fun thing ever. But I have my buddy Sam over here, and he's like making his music and having like a giant party, and it's like the coolest thing ever. It's like super early, but at the same time, like I know it's like something super passionate about. He's been up all night while I was in there filming, and like you can tell there's just like something he really loves. And as I'm sitting here like dying, I realize like it's so crucial that if you want to really push through that next level, or you want to have that impact, or you want to be able to continue going,
like you've got to have something that you love to do that really just excites you. And so for me, like training at noon every day is like the most fun thing on the planet. And most people they're like, what do you mean? Because most people they just don't like trading stocks, and that's why most people don't succeed at least the active investment management is because they don't like it. And so you got to make sure that if you want to have huge success at something, you find a way to love it. I hope you guys are super, super excited. Today's the coolest day ever. So we've just gone through the second meditation session today, and I just had this huge epiphany. It was the biggest thing ever. It was this big stock trade I was thinking about, and also this content distribution we're doing for the videos. And I was realizing how insanely important it is to freaking meditate over and over and over. And I've been doing it for years and years and years now. But I can't even imagine could it was not doing this, because what you need to do is give your mind time to reflect, your subconscious time to process and adapt to information, because subconsciously you can process information so much stronger than you could ever even try to on your own. And as soon as you can do that, all of a sudden you start to have answers that appear out of thin air that are things that you could never have even considered thinking of on your own. So it's so powerful, so critical, and so crucial that you give yourself time to reflect through meditation, not thinking about anything. And as soon as you do that, you'll start to magically think of the answers to your problems that sometimes seem even too complicated to solve on your own, will just appear as you let your mind work on it by itself on its own passive schedule.